Yeah, I think that's the proper way to proceed on analyzing not only the episode in Kursk, but the entire war, the entire conflict between Ukraine and Russia has been Ukraine committing acts of terrorism against its own citizenry, and Russia responding by protecting the people who have been subjected to that terrorism. We can begin back in 2014 when the Ukrainian right wing Nazi thugs, under the direction of Victoria Nuland and Joe Biden and Barack Obama, overthrew President Yanukovych and murdered people in Maidan. That was the first real act of terrorism, shooting of innocent civilians with snipers hired by the CIA from Georgia. That was an act of terrorism. Continuing on through Poroshenko, uh, declaring that the Russian children of Donbass will be in basements while the Ukrainian children will be in schools. That was a terrorism act. That was a crime against humanity, a crime against children. And then for that reason, Russia stepped in eventually after a long, prolonged, patient endurance that included the Minsk agreements, which Russia and President Putin, in good faith, expected to be honored by people without any faith and without any goodness, specifically Angela Merkel and Barack Obama and Sarkozy or Boris Johnson or Macron or any of the inheritors of the idiocy of the EU and NATO and the United States. So at last, Russia had to step in. And of course, Ukraine has been continuing its act of terrorism under the direction of the US CIA, the British MI6, the Mossad. They have been blowing up the Crimean bridges. I said a year ago they were going to engage in a nuclear strike against Zaporozhye. I was proven right. They've blown up dams, of course. They've been dropping grenades on schools' playgrounds of children. They've been firing HIMARS and cluster bombs and French missiles and British missiles into civilian apartment complexes, which I was witness to when I was in Belgorod and Sherebinka. So this is a long history of nothing but acts of terrorism against civilians. They have interspersed that with military kinetic fights using the Abrams or the Leopard tanks or the other old, worn out weapon systems that the West has given to Ukraine, which have proven futile and been treated like junk on the battlefield. But for the most part, Ukraine is showing really its continuing insanity and its slavery to its masters in the West by committing political, social, economic suicide by running in meat grinder buzzsaw, which is the Russian military. And this Kursk operation is probably the straw that breaks the camel's back, because it is an invasion of Russia, an invasion of Russian territory, an invasion and the harm of the Russian civilian people. This is not Crimea. This is not Donetsk. This is not Luhansk. This is not Mariupol. This is Russia in Kursk. So Russia will respond with a ferocity and a resolve and an absolution and a determination that we've not yet seen when Russia chooses, when it chooses the time and the battlefield to do so. But Russia is also very strategically intelligent. They realize that the West is desperate and is trying to lure Russia to use tactical nuclear weapons. I've said this for a long time too. In order to generate this global hysteria, public relations, media blitz against Russia. Russia uses nuclear weapons. You could see the writing on the wall if they did that. The West's media machine, from Australia to the United States to Europe to all over the world, would broadcast Russia as the enemy of all ecology and all of nature and all of the wilderness and all of the world's environment. So Russia's not going to do that. It's going to rely on its kinetic weapons and the heart and soul of its soldiers to win its battles. And you will see, as a result of that, Russia will treat Kursk as the final battle. It'll push through, and you may see all of this preparing for really a crushing annihilation of Ukraine before winter, so that Russia can then back out and let winter serve the final death blow. And what will emerge in spring will be an environment very much ready for Russia's, complete peace terms. I would say, too, other areas of Ukraine, like Odessa, which have always been traditionally Russia, they need to establish themselves as independent republics, just like Donetsk and Lugansk did, because that is the best way to peel away and secure the Russian areas for the Russian people, is to make them independent republics. And there's no country it's easier to declare an independence from than a fanatical Nazi Gestapo Bandera tattoo wearing drug addict, criminal cocaine, racketeering of thugs, rapists, and madmen, which are under the direction of the ultimate madman, Joe Biden.